wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
A wizard.
So, you decided that you would leave your muggle ways behind to become part of the Statue of Secrecy Task Force. Harry Potter Wizards Unite is Niantic's new take on the immersive augmented reality genre. If you're familiar with Pokemon Go, you'll have a base understanding of the core mechanics of Harry Potter. However, if you're tired of Pokemon Go or feel like this is just a repeat of this game, that is something that you will not find, as there are a lot of new mechanics and new styles of gameplay within it. If this is your first time playing this style of game, you won't have trouble jumping right in. Hopefully this video will allow you to understand some of the more confusing aspects of Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Let's break down the story of the game. Right after opening up Harry Potter for the first time, you are met by an NPC by the name of Constance Pickering. She's kind of more or less your guide on your new adventure. Constance provides you some context to the calamity, and that is plaguing the world and how Grim Folly is a suspect. Grim was an Auror for the Ministry of Magic and was married to Penelope, another Auror within the organization. Penelope ended up disappearing, along with 4 other Aurors that were sent out on a mission. The Ministry began searching for these missing members, and this investigation was known as the London 5 investigation. After having no real leads on the investigation and seeing the amount of money being spent to continue the search, the Ministry called off this investigation. After hearing the news, Grim was understandably upset. His wife was missing and the people he worked for were no longer continuing the search. Grim knew and felt that Penelope was alive and began burying himself in his work trying to find a spell that could help. Seeing the grief that was weighing over him, the Ministry granted him leave for work for mental vacation from the stress of the investigation. However, shortly after his leave, a powerful spell occurred and the Confoundables and Foundables began appearing all over the world. Grim began the key suspect by connecting his ties to the investigation, and it is now up to you and the other wizards of the Statue of Secrecy to return the Foundables to their rightful place.
Yeah, it's a lot. Essentially, people went missing, a spell happened, a guy's been blamed for it, and random things have popped up. Got it? Alright, let's move on. The mechanics of the game are essentially very simple. You open up the app, you simply walk around and traces will randomly pop up. You touch the traces and random Foundables associated with a certain family will appear. Trace your finger along the line shown and you try to catch the Foundable. Completing traces requires 2 factors, accuracy and speed. If you're too slow, the line will disappear and the spell won't be completed. If you go too fast and have an accurate trace, the spell may not even occur, or you could go down from a good rating to a fair. There are 4 ratings, fair, good, great, and magnificent/masterful. The better the trace, the more likely you are to catch the Foundable. The trace will also appear in different colors. Red, orange, light yellow, light green, and green. Red means that it is an incomplete spell and it might show you areas you might have touched, or might not have touched. There are certain areas of the line where you could have to touch in order for the spell to even activate. Orange represents a bad trace and will lower your rating. So you may have a great rating because you were quick, however having an inaccurate trace could lower your rating to a good or even a fair. The bar at the top of the screen will represent the speed and accuracy ratio and what it takes to get a fair, good, great, or magnificent rating. Okay, so it's a little bit more complicated, but after 2 or 3 more times of doing the traces, you'll actually get the hang of it fairly easily. After catching a new trace, this will be added to your registry. The registry will show your collection of Foundables that you have acquired. Some Foundables only require 1 capture to be placed into the registry. After placing them into the registry and capturing all the Foundables on the map, you will actually gain extra experience for your family. So if you finish your Beatrix Lestrange portrait, you'll actually gain more experience for the Dark Arts family. As you scroll down through the pages, you'll notice the amount that you have to catch in order to place a Foundable greatly increases. On the first page, the majority of Foundables you need is 1 to 4. However, on the second and third pages, you'll find the Foundables that need to be captured range from anywhere to 4 to maybe even 15 times before they can be placed. I would like to clear up a little confusing point that I've seen with the SOS assignments. These are basically story missions that give you something to work towards and kind of just lead you on to more of the back lore of the whole Harry Potter universe. A mission could say place a Foundable, or it could even say return a Foundable. Placing a Foundable means that you've completed the registry requirements for your current capture and you're placing it into the registry. Returning a Foundable means that you're just capturing it for a specific family and that's it. You don't have to worry about how many you've caught or if it's already been placed. You just capture it and just forget that it even happened. Your inventory can be easily managed, however there isn't a lot of space to work with. In your suitcase icon, you can find potions, vault, registry, professions, and port keys. Potions allow you to create status effects to help you capture foundables, grant you more focus and skills during battles, and even heal you. You can speed up the brewing process by stirring this potion in specific patterns. Once you figure out the notes, you'll never have to relearn the potion again. However, I have had a lot of trouble with this actually updating my recipes whenever I've learned the brewing process, but this could be addressed in future updates. Keeping track of your inventory is easy to do. However, there isn't a ton of space, and so you can only hold up to 200 ingredients. With all the potions using a variety of ingredients, stockpiling one ingredient will mean that you have to hold less of another. The vault also shows you the amount of potions you have, your spellbooks, scrolls, dark detectors, runestones, seeds, and water. If you're needing space to pick up another item, you can delete your items in your inventory here to give you that space. Unfortunately, it takes energy to complete traces. This is very similar to the throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon concept. You can hold up to 75 energy and you use 1 energy for every spell that you cast. You're able to refill this energy by stopping at ends. You click on the ends and you do the trace and you'll randomly given a food or a drink. Based on what you get will provide you varying amounts of energy. The small pumpkin bottles and tea kettles will grant you around 3 energy, butterbeer and light chicken dinners along with I believe some candy bars will grant around 7, and large chicken meals will grant 10 energy. There are 3 different types of inns: small ones that are purple and have green roofs, medium ones that are gray with blue roofs, and large ones that are multiple stories and have darker green roofs. The small and medium inns grant you a chance of winning food between 3 and 7 energy, where large inns will grant you a chance between 3 and 10. Inns can be found at landmarks or stores, so your local gas station or library has a really good chance of becoming an inn. You can visit these inns every 5 minutes. Also within the inn, you might see a little button at the bottom that says Dark Detector. This area allows you to place a dark detector that increases the probability of higher level foundables occurring at that location. You can only attain dark detectors by either purchasing them or leveling up, so be sure to use them wisely. 3 dark detectors can be placed in an inn at a time, and the more detectors placed, the better chance you have of seeing high level foundables. If you are only passing by the inn and don't intend on staying at the location for a while, I would suggest not placing the detector. The detector will stay at the inn and cannot be removed until the timer is up. Another location that is kind of based on the landmarks within your town are greenhouses. Greenhouses will provide you random drops of ingredients or potions. Ingredients can be found via greenhouses, port keys, or just lying around on the map. The other room within greenhouses is an area where people can plant certain seeds. So if you know you need a certain ingredient for a potion and you don't necessarily want to pay the coins to make it, you can plant the seed and grow the item. Growing items requires the seed you want in water. On its own, it takes around 6 hours to grow ingredients, but if you can contribute energy to the greenhouse, you can actually cause ingredients to grow faster. Any person can contribute, so say if it takes 40 energy to make it grow completely, you can get 4 people and simply contribute 10 energy each. Once the seed is done growing, every person in the area will see the ingredient on the map and they'll be able to pick it up. One of the coolest parts of this game that I'm especially excited to talk about is the idea of professions. There are 3 to choose from: Aurors, Magizoology, and Professors. Aurors deal extra damage against dark forces and take extra damage from beasts. They specialize in combat and use status effects to help a team defeat foes. Magizoologists deal extra damage against beasts and take extra damage from curiosities. Their focus is centered around the healing and support of teammates. Professors deal extra damage to curiosities and take extra damage from dark forces. Professors specialize in spells and kind of help by supporting their teammate all around. Once you choose a profession, the awesome thing about it is that you're not locked into that profession like you are in Pokemon Go. If Professor isn't your thing, you can switch to Magizoology or Auror or whatever at any time. Within your profession, you have lessons, and so lessons are basically skill trees of each profession. These skills will increase your stamina, defense, critical hit chance, critical hit power, and really just your overall skills that you can use. If you've ever played any of the games in the Borderlands series, you can think of it as your skill tree and BA ranking all in one. Leveling up your skills requires scrolls. Scrolls can be found after a variety of activities like completing daily challenges or leveling up a registry page. Some skills require spellbooks too. These books can be found after completing wizarding challenges and also just whenever you find books onto the map. The restricted spellbooks are more difficult to acquire and I think are only available during certain events. These events haven't occurred yet, but there is one happening rather soon, I believe in about 3 days, so we'll see what that brings us. Your profession will also help you with wizarding challenges. Wizarding challenges are public rooms where you can enter in with up to 5 people to fight enemy foundables. You can find these challenges by going to the big red fortresses on the map. You don't need to be friends with someone to enter a challenge with them. If someone is entering the same room as you, then you can select that room and fight alongside of them.
Each fortress has 20 levels, and in order to get to the next level, you have to beat the room before. The higher room that you pick, the more difficult the enemies will be. And as you select your room, you'll be asked to select a runestone. Runestones range from 1 to 5 and will further affect the difficulty of the room, along with tailoring to what your reward will be at the end. If you put a level 4 Magizoology room, you will most likely get a high level foundable to collect and will reside on your 3rd Magizoology page. If you begin a wizarding challenge and end up failing the room, you will lose the rune that you have and you'll be removed from the room entirely. You only have 5 minutes per room to beat every enemy. So if you want to make sure that you've leveled up your profession well and enter up a room with friends before you attempt any high level room on your own. I would suggest making sure that you have around 25 to 30 energy before entering a room. Every time you cast a spell to attack, you do lose 1 energy, and so if you run out of energy during the fight, you either have to run or rely on the rest of your team to finish off the enemies. If you leave a room which causes you to lose a room, then strategize with your team to using your professions to your advantage to make completing difficult rooms easier. This part of the game is one of my favorite features and I think is one of the best things about Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Leveling up allows you to complete harder challenges and higher level people and are able to help out people who are struggling in the beginning rooms. This is a sense of cooperation that I felt was missing in Pokemon Go. Portkeys are really cool interpretations of the AR feature. Portkeys are items that you unlock by walking certain distances. The 3 types of portkeys are prized, precious, and paramount, and they require you to walk 2, 5, and 10 kilometers respectively. To start the portkey walking process, you need to either have a silver or a golden key. You'll always have 1 golden key in your inventory, and this is what the game uses to allow you to always have the ability to unlock a portkey. Silver keys are provided through leveling up or through the purchase of their Diagon Alley store. However, unlike a golden key, once you use a silver key, it is gone once the portkey has been unlocked. As long as you have a key, you can use any number of portkeys going at once. You can hold around 8 portkeys at one time in your inventory, and they can be found just by tapping them on the map. They do spawn rather regularly, so if you do use one, you don't really have to worry about finding another one. Unfortunately, the activity sync that Pokemon Go uses that has their eggs isn't yet within Harry Potter. So if you want to have your steps count unlocking a portkey, you will have to get up and running. After you've reached the step requirement, you can then select the finished portkey and begin the AR experience. Your camera becomes a 360 camera, and you are then tasked to collect 5 Raxpurts. These Raxpurts will grant you additional ingredients, experience, or family experience. Portkeys will then give you either books or a foundable that can only be found after completing a portkey. Your Ministry ID allows you to personalize your wand, title, picture, house, and achievements. Harry Potter Wizards Unite comes with quite a few stock photos at the start. However, as you level up, you'll be able to unlock more designs to help your ID represent you. Adding friends is very simple as well. You click on the 2 people in the wizard hat icon to bring up your friends list. Here you can see who has sent you a friend's request, add a friend via their code, or share your code with others. Harry Potter doesn't have gifts to give friends like Pokemon Go, but it will probably be instituted at a later date. A piece of advice after installing the game is download all the other assets. Doing so will allow your game to run smoother and save your battery life. I imagine this is done on the back end to allow players to get into the game faster. This can be found by opening the trunk icon, clicking the gears in the top left, then scrolling all the way down to the bottom where it says download all assets. This is a hefty download and will take probably around 20 minutes to complete, and I would make sure that you're within signal Wi-Fi range to keep from using an excessive amount of data. Thank you all so much for tuning into my in-depth guide on Harry Potter Wizards Unite. I personally have become really invested into leveling up my character, and I've really enjoyed helping other people get into the game. I don't know if this is a game that will ever surpass Pokemon Go, as I feel this game tailors to a different type of audience. If I missed anything or you'd like more clarification on something, please leave me a message in the comments below. Until next time, thank you all so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.